remember, but inclusive of people from all different races. So, but today is about celebrating the Indigenous ground, our culture, and you're on, if people don't know, you're on Gawler country. And we believe that you know our language, you'll know our country better. So I'll get on with the work from now. Matawanga Kana Mena, my Wongni, Mani the Budni, Gani Ata, my Burka Maka Lepa, Shananya Mena Aku, Naki Undaya, Naki Akandaya, Magnia New Wadi. So what I said was, on behalf of the Ghana people, I welcome you to Ghana country. I do this ambassador of the Adelaide Plains people. My brothers, my sisters, they talk together in home. And I just wish the both teams well this afternoon, play tough but play fair. Thank you. So thanks very much, guys. There's a couple of guys who need to come up for photos.
Welcome to the match of the day, coming to you from Willaston. Today's game between Willaston and Barossa districts. Should be a really good game, Asha.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Last time it was quite a good hit up for the first half of footy, and then Willaston ended up blowing away later on in the game. But Barossa are definitely competitive and good signs. So Willaston nearly full strength and strong Barossa outfit. Hopefully it can be a good game.
Yes, and big day for the Willaston Football Club today, Sponsors Day. And we just had the Welcome to Country for Indigenous round. And Willaston wearing brilliant Indigenous Guernsey designed by Sean Childs, one of their players.
Yeah, Sean Childsy and a lot of the Indigenous boys take a lot to this, and we've really embraced it as a football club, and love getting in a part of this because it's a really important part of our team and our club. We'd like to thank ITR, Indigenous Training and Recruitment, ITR. They're an Indigenous round sponsor and the main sponsor for today being our Sponsors Day. They're a supportive company that helps with training and recruiting Indigenous personnel in the construction industry. So thank you to them.
Yes, doing a great job and supporting local footy, which is a big thing. But we've got to acknowledge a few things. The Guernsey designed by Sean Childs. He represents the Wirangu and also the Kokata people. And the wedge-tail eagle on the front of the Guernsey is his totem, as well as Michael Clinch. They're both from those peoples. And Lee Sutton is represented by the goanna on the back. And Isaiah Mackenzie is represented by the rocks and the sand, which is the desert. And also the red belly black snake is featured on the Guernsey, which is the totem for the Barossa and Gawler area.
Yeah, all of our Indigenous boys had a part in each part of the Guernsey, which is one thing that the club really wanted to embrace. And I think they've nailed it absolutely perfectly. I reckon it looks amazing.
And also Terrell Rigney came to the club after the Guernsey had already gone into design and production, so unfortunately his totem isn't included. He's representing the Narrandjeri people. So those guys are really proud of their heritage and they represent this club fantastically. And Sean Childs has been a great recruit for Willaston over the years. He's brought a lot to the footy club and the league.
Yeah, I reckon Sean Childs has nearly been here a decade, been a great servant for the football club, and then obviously having Isaiah McKenzie and both Terrell Rigney come in this year and be great assets, and always reliable, best and fairest, reigning best and fairest, Michael Clinch, and Lee Sutton, who's been around the football club for a long time as well.
Yes. And it's dried up a little bit. There was a lot of rain earlier, so it'd be nice to get the game through without any more downpours, but the oval is pretty heavy in a couple of areas, especially this wing in front of us.
Yeah, this wing and down deep in both forward areas is pretty sloppy, but it does starting to look good, starting to clear up, so hopefully the sun can keep shining and the rain goes away.
Yes, and Willaston have had a good day winning the under-17s and the reserves. How did the under-15s?
Under 15s, Barossa are a very strong side in the under 15s, and they lost quite convincingly, and the 13s ended up going down just quite small. 17s was a great win with a top of the table clash, and then the Rezzies got up there as well. So hopefully we can get 3 in a row and get the A grade as well.
Well, for Sponsors Day, that'd be a great result.
It
but
would be.
I think Barossa are going to be a tough beast to handle today. They've been getting better week by week.
The first time we played them, they showed some real promise, especially I've heard from Hosey the week before that they were a bit weak against Tanunda, but then they came out of us and they were really competitive, so, and I've only been hearing they've been getting better and better, so a bit nervous, but I'll back our boys in. In
these conditions, it really does bring the game back to Barossa, in fact.
Yeah, it does. We do like to play some quick, smooth footy, and with the being a bit boggy, it's obviously not what everyone loves, but it does suit Barossa with their young outfit, so...
And Willaston desperately needing to win today after letting a great opportunity slip at last game against South Gawler.
It was a very frustrating game. We're up by 5 goals heading into the final term, and South prevailed in the end, played a really great last quarter, and in the end ended up getting the win.
Yes, and that leaves Willaston sitting in a log jam in third.
Yes, it is. There's very tight all the way down to 7th, I believe. There's still a chance all the way down to 7th to make finals in the A-grade competition, so it can go either way at any time.
So Willaston need to get this win today to keep themselves in with a chance of getting the double chance and finishing second.
Definitely do.
And slight breeze going to the left of screen, to the northern end. So looks like that'll be the best way to be kicking at this stage.
Right in front of all the sponsors up in the club rooms as well, so that's always a good sign.
And they'll love that if all the action's down that end.
Especially if Mickey Housen takes another one of those hangers. That was amazing.
That was definitely the best mark I've seen for a couple of seasons. And yeah, that is the goal square where he took that mark. And he did try another one last game against South.
Yes, he did too. He does fly at least once a game. If he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But normally Mickey's pretty reliable with those sort of situations and gets up pretty high.
And he's pretty pleased that we caught it on camera as well. He's watched it quite a few times.
Yes, I've heard about that up at the club a couple of times. A lot of the boys love your clips. Tyson and Harry Elbro earlier in the year got a couple goal clips, and then Mickey's hanger there, so they do love it.
Yes, our AV guy Sam actually does a great job in putting the cuts together so that guys can take advantage of a bit of me time.
They'll take it while they can, definitely.
Team's warming up currently, probably a bit delayed by the Welcome to Country ceremony, but we won't hold that against anyone because it was just a fantastic spectacle here at the Willaston football game.
Well said. That both Barossa seem to be getting in tight now and starting to huddle up, starting to get ready. Willaston still having a kick of the footy, but it seems like the umpires are starting to bring the game ahead.
I think they're calling for the captains now. But the wind picking up actually, so definitely going to be a real advantage going to the left of screen.
Toss is crucial here for the start of the game.
And I believe Max Fraser not playing today. He's been called up for Central Districts.
He has been called up for Central Districts. Max Fraser, yes, is out, I believe. So which I believe brings in Hayden Moss, who's another big tall timber for us.
Yes, and he did the fourth quarter of the last game we did at South Gawler.
Oh, yes, he did, didn't he? I heard about that.
Very good job.
I heard, Joseph Cirillo and Hayden Moss were the two commentators of last week.
Yeah, that's correct. Just we had to get 2 people to fill in for you. One person can't handle it.
I don't believe I'm that good, but thank you.
Well, someone's got to talk you up. Okay, looks like we're getting set now. Players starting to get themselves sorted.
Raring to go.
Bit of cloud cover. Should be a really interesting game.
Let's just pray that the rain stays away. That's the main thing.
We're undercover. We're
Yeah.
fine.
Still don't want to see rain, though.
No, it looks like it could be a really good game between these two teams. Pretty evenly matched, I think, size-wise. Neither team overly tall, so well suited to these conditions.
Looks like Barossa are kicking with the win for this first term, and Willaston heading to the other end, scoreboard end.
Okay, should be an interesting start if Barossa want to get on top early.
Looks like two quite young ruckmen, Luke Hadju and Kurt Sizer, coming into ruck. Luke Hadju being the reigning Schuttler medalist of the under-17s last year.
That's Schaluda.
Oh, Schuttler, is it?
Okay, yes, he's young ruckman, but he's battled well all year and has got real potential. I think he's going to be a long-term prospect for the Bulldogs. We see umpire Herman holds the ball aloft. Coming in now and up goes, starts the game. Hadju with a good clear tap. Willaston with a clearing kick there.
Josh Waldhunter read it best and Tyson Earlham's out in front. Great pickup. Gives it back to Harrison McKenzie, who causes a spill and manages to get away. He's gone for the top of the square and he's kicked it straight to a Barossa defender. I believe it's Hayden Trainer.
Yes, well intercepted back there, but probably a wasted opportunity for the Donnybrooks.
It was, especially heading into this breeze. You can take any goal you can get heading into that breeze.
Yes, probably would have been better even kicking across into space.
There he goes again, though. Harry McKenzie's taken another mark, getting involved early.
Goes down the line.
Harry Elbrow's gone to the top of the square as well. And there you go again, Hayden Trainer.
Getting the stats early and he's switching play. Oh, it's a risky move.
Ethan Gant out in the pocket here and he kicks it out in front of Nathan Casbolt. He was very good again, the first time he played around. I reckon he was Barossa's best.
Yes, he's a very good, reliable midfielder. Coming down the wing now.
Joshy Newmans. Michael Clinch comes across and intercept marks.
Very good mark taken there by Clinch. Little chip kick out to the boundary now. Deacon Davis. Davis threads it down the line with good strong mark taken by Isaiah McKenzie. He's looking inboard.
Doesn't have much ahead. Tyson Earlham leads up the ground.
A well-directed kick, but chopped off.
Oliver Riggs getting in the way there and causing a stoppage. And the ball will be tossed up in between the wing and Willaston's half-forward flank.
Sizer getting the tap there. Bit of a weight advantage in the ruck. Both young ruckmen, but Sizer with the bigger frame.
Yes, he's a big boy, Sizer.
Got a few kilos on Hadju, and Hadju's going to have to try and jump over him to try and have an impact today.
Ball gets tossed in. Both ruckmen seem to miss it. Looks like there's going to be another stoppage here.
Another ball up in the same spot. We're going to have quite a bit of that today.
Josh Waldhunter hacks it forward.
Attempted mark there, spoiled. And ball flicks out now.
Isaac Polton's hacked that one there forward to Tyson in a one-on-one versus Hayden Trainer. Tyson comes off best on the ground balls, picked it up, gets around him with a bit of candy and he slipped over in the pocket.
Weaved, and on the second dodge he's tripped himself up.
Barossa bring it up the centre of the ground now. Will O'Brien, one of the under-17s. He's a bottom major under-17 actually. Great mate of mine.
It's good to see young players thriving in the A-grade environment. As Willaston chopped off again by Barossa. Barossa switching play out to this side now.
Nathan
Plenty of room.
Ethan Gant brings it up the wing and Deacon Davis crazes a stoppage. Terrell Rigney on the bottom of the pack here. Will O'Brien's trying to hack it forward and he's dropped it. And Deacon Davis, Ryan Watson and Will O'Brien.
Watson is an absolute mad... He's a feral dog, really. He will go after every contest all day long. I had a good chat with him last week, and he's really enjoying his season so far. He's been playing some good footy. And the Bulldogs, under their new coach, Simon Wills, actually really not feeling like they're a bottom club. They're actually enjoying their footy this season. So, real potential there for the Bulldogs going forwards. As the ball thrown in now. Sizer with the tap, but taps it straight to Watson, who's then held without the ball. wins the free kick. He goes deep. Almost a one-handed mark there.
Lee Sutton wins the footy out and kicks it towards the wing with a high flyer.
And that bounce favours Barossa.
Hayden McKenzie wins it back and gives it to Lee Sutton. And he's kicked it off the side of his boot out on the full.
Out in the full. That's going to be a problem today with the wind going across. So Barossa will be heading back into their forward line now. Puts it inside the 50. Well spoiled by Willaston, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
No score yet, so it's been relatively close between both teams.
Willaston have probably had the majority of the play down their end, so Barossa, if they can get one against the grain here, would be really good for them.
Definitely would be. Lee Sutton's hacked it forward there. Right out in front of Mickey Housen with a great pick-up. He's given it wide to Isaiah McKenzie.
McKenzie goes long.
Chipped it up the wing to a stoppage. Believe between Brody Cormack and Luke Hadju. As Luke Hadju spills the ball out to Hayden Trainer at the back.
Trainer slipped and was unable to take advantage of it, and we'll have a boundary throw in on the half-forward flank area for Willaston. No clear winner from that throw in. And we're going to have another stoppage. Players just diving on the ball, not letting it get out.
So far been very hard to pick from the throw-ins with the ruckmans. Wind blowing it everywhere, all over the place.
And Sizer with a clear tap there, but a Barossa player sharked it well. And solid tackle there from Willaston. Takes the play to ground, and we'll have another stoppage.
Game so far being more stoppage to stoppage and contest to contest, and a lot of free flowing, which is really showing that the wind and the slop so far is really taking into play of the game. Speaking of it,
also both teams not wanting to give the other an opportunity to break out. Very defensive setup currently for both sides.
Seems to be a blood rule here.
Barossa player coming from the ground, bleeding from somewhere. I can't quite see where.
It's the face.
Is it?
Yeah, he's bleeding from the face.
Yes.
On the cheek.
On the cheek. I wasn't sure if that was mud from a distance, but...
Well, Craig Dowse comes onto the ground.
Trey Gant with the blood rule coming to the bench. And we'll restart play. Ball goes up, and Hadju with a clear tap forward. But Willaston taking advantage. Quick kick goes straight up in the air.
Josh Waldhunter reads it best and has taken a mark.
Took a mark and will drive Willaston deep into their forward line. There's a lead on for him now.
Easy McKenzie seems to be out the back here. Barossa read it best again, and they've intercepted the ball once again. Barossa's defence holding up really well so far.
Some very good, solid players in their defensive structure. And that ball just running out of play.
Out in between the forward flank and the wing again in this mud slop.
Yeah, it's probably one of the worst areas on the ground to be doing this. Both the ruckman will try and stay upright. Hadju with a tap, but read well by Willaston.
Terrell Rigney hacks it forward to Josh Waldhunter, who's crowd of the contest. Just slaps it forward to Isaac Polton.
Good wet weather footy there from Waldhunter.
McCready gives it to Waldhunter, who's put it to the top of the square. And Mickey Housen's found himself on it and should kick the goal.
Michael Housen doesn't miss those. Runs in for the first goal of the game, the first score of the game, as Willaston gets scoring underway. So Michael Housen on the board early. And one against the wind, which is going to be vital today. If you can score into the wind, it's going to be really hard to match.
Definitely is. Michael Housen probably one of the most reliable small forwards in this comp over the past 5 to 6 years. So Definitely coming up again with another goal.
One of Willaston's leading goal kickers in recent years.
Definitely would be probably our highest goal scorer over the past 5 years. Always reliable, Mickey Housen.
I believe he's in the 20s so far this year. As Hadju roves his own ball there, knocks it out wide. Barossa players just bashing the ball sideways. And we'll have another stoppage right out on the wing.
Ball's tossed up again. Kurt Sizer and Hadju go at it. Izzy McKenzie reads it best and hacks it forward. And Isaac Polton in front position.
Takes a good mark, and he'll have a set shot from probably 40 metres out. Into the wind will be a tough one. The ball might drop quickly.
Ryan Watson seems to be injured here, which isn't good news for Barossa. Let's hope he's all okay. It seems to be an injury to the right leg.
That's bad news for the Bulldogs and bad news for Watto, as Polton goes long. We'd had no problems with the distance, but offline, ball hit the point post, so it's going to be a boundary throw in.
Let's hope he's all okay. Housen then even taking a hanger on his own teammate, attempting to take one, but the ball's ended up spilling over for a throw in. Hayden Moss hacks it forward. Ollie Petroholis seems to chase the ball over, and the ball will get thrown in again.
And we'll have Hayden Moss looking to get a goal for himself, I think. He's eager to be in the forward line. And Barossa just with a quick clearing kick.
Jake Tobin drops the ball and gives away a free kick to Terrell Rigney. Who gives it off to
quick
Vitnell.
handball.
Ash Fry has dropped the footy and gives it to Dylan Vitnell again, and Michael Clinch has chipped it forward to Mickey Housen.
And Housen takes a good safe mark overhead. He's probably too far out to score, but he'll be looking for a target.
And does, hitting Brody Cormack.
And Harry Elbrow just sitting all on his own in the forward pocket. Not sure why he didn't make a lead. He's got no one near him. As he comes in now. It's good distance.
Missed it to the right. And Lee Riswick will take the kick in. This ball here could go a long way with the wind, especially with Lee Riswick's massive legs. He kicks the ball very far. Oh, someone slipped over there, and Harry McKenzie's chasing the ball. I believe it's Tyson Lane out on the wing there, and it looks to be another stoppage.
McKenzie hit the ball forward, then followed it up with a strong tackle. Here we go, another boundary throw in. And Hadju gets the best of that, and Barossa clear it out the back with a good handball. Kick forward, unfortunately found a Willaston player, but was spilled.
Ash Fry in front position there, wins that one. See where he goes with this, gets around.
Kept to his feet, which was very good.
And hits up Michael Housen out on the half-forward flank.
That's the old connection. They've been kicking to each other for years.
Mickey Houser's kicked it straight to the man on the mark here, but dances around. Forced kick on his right foot. And Kurt nearly takes a massive mark.
I think the trainer might have to go and check on Housen. That right foot doesn't get used often. It might be pretty sore after that. Another stoppage in Willaston's forward 50. As we see Willaston setting up with players out wide.
Kurt Sizer jumps up,
and
wins
Sizer
that one.
Hits directly to those players.
Brody Cormack's run past the footy. Hayden Moss applying good pressure, and it seems to be another stoppage down deep in Willaston's forward 50. Oh no, it's been chucked out. Isaac Polton snaps and goals.
That's very well done by Polton. Had a lot of players in between him and the goal and was able to read it beautifully. Well done. So that takes Willaston to 2-1 on the Grant Bergewine scoreboard, with Barossa yet to score. As we see Tyson Earlham coming back onto the ground. He'll go straight into the middle for this stoppage.
Looks like he is. He's lining up on the wing.
Staying on the wing, which would be...
2 players out here on the wing for Willaston. It leaves a spare down in Barossa's defence.
But Earlham not manned up at this stage, so that could be a ploy just to get him loose.
Seems to have put Willaston have put an extra player around the contest, which is quite a smart idea, with especially being against the breeze.
Willaston hacking that forward and a good smother there. As Barossa player unable to get away, is tackled. Ball spills. And Barossa clearing through trainer.
Going out in the full.
So Willaston another chance to drive the ball deep into their forward line, putting the heat on Barossa at the moment. The Bulldogs just unable to get any relief.
Harrison McCready with the ball.
And another strong mark taken there.
Sorry, not Harrison McCready, Lachlan McCready. And Harry Elbro back with the flight. Well spoiled there by Lucas Watson and puts the ball over.
We'll have a boundary throw in just around from the goals in Willaston's forward line. The Donnybrooks dominating possession at the moment. Barossa, their defence holding it well, but they can't move the ball through the midfield. Sizer gets 2 hands to that and drops it straight down. Willaston trying to clear by hand. And big bump applied as Barossa hacking ball forward, but a strong mark taken.
Stoppage between Will O'Brien and Lee Sutton in the middle of the ground there. Lee Sutton went to play on and got tackled immediately as he punches it forward as well. Oliver Petrohollis being at the bottom of the contest there.
And we've got another stoppage. As Sizer with a clear win there, straight down to his rover.
Tyson Earlham hacking it forward. With him, who's jumped on it there? I think it's Tyson Earlham again.
Getting very busy. He's had a little break on the bench and now he's filled up for the next stretch.
Deacon Davis running away and kicking it forward deep into Willaston's forward 50. Out in front of Mickey Housen.
A little bit too far out in front, and Housen chases it and is trying to evade his opponent right on the boundary line. It's taken the ground.
He's put the ball over by the looks of things.
So we'll have, I guess what, another stoppage.
Been quite a few of them so far. Really getting up there. Harry Elbro wins. Oh no, Oliver Petrohollis wins it from the middle and hacks it forward to Brody Cormack. Big stoppage between Cormack and Nathan Casbolt. And Lockie Elliott creates a stoppage. Ball to get tossed up again. Kurt Sizer and Hadju been attacking at each other all day.
A big punch from Hadju. And Barossa trying to work the ball out now. Willaston intercepting.
Harry Elbro coming off the side of the boot there, I reckon. Just falls in Mickey Housen's
A little bit
hand.
lucky, and Housen will take that. He turns and kicks quickly and nails
a goal.
a goal. Housen
Oh no. Oh no, it's going through a point. Looked like a goal from this
went
angle.
over the post, so the goal umpires called it a point.
Ethan Gant to take the kick out here. You think he'd kick out to the far side with the wind. Yep, chooses to do so. Oh, he's gone straight up the middle actually.
And goes over the player he was aiming for.
Lee
And
Sutton.
Willaston, who've lined up well behind the ball, clearing.
Another stoppage here in between the centre circle and Willaston's forward 50. Willaston have kept the ball pretty much in their forward half for most of this quarter here.
Yes, Barossa unable to get the ball moving through the middle of the ground. Willaston really setting up through there and building a wall almost.
Has been working so far as Tyson Earlham gets another clearance and hacks it forward to Mickey Housen. With immediate pressure on him, it creates stoppage.
Ball up. Hadju with a clear tap. But Willaston able to crumb. A quick kick forward, unable to find a player, and ball rolls over the boundary line. Throw in, and umpires found a free kick, I believe.
To Luke Hadju. Goes straight up the line. And has kicked it straight out in the full. So that was a quick turnover. And Willaston will have another attack through Harry McKenzie.
And that'll Barossa unable to get out of their own back line. With a mistake like that, just not helping their cause.
Tyson Lane to Michael Baraglia on the wing here.
Baraglia kicks it, and strong mark taken there. And he switches play across to this side of the ground, but unfortunately Willaston cut it off. Going forward. And that's a big hit.
And 25 has been given immediately.
Definitely worthy. A very poor effort.
Brian McConnell being the one that gave away the free kick there. The Barossa captain, actually. Didn't think that'd be much captain-like, but there's a big hit on Isaiah McKenzie.
Yes, and could cost his team badly. McKenzie's got this distance covered quite easily.
And I would back him to kick it in, hopefully.
Yes.
Lovely left foot.
You'll be kicking from probably 35, 40 metres out.
Barossa seem to have a couple of injuries here as Will O'Brien heads up to the rooms. Hopefully nothing serious.
McKenzie coming in now, and really didn't even look like getting a goal there, just kicked it wide to the left. As we see Watson now hobbling along with ice on his hamstring.
Not a good sign, and seems to be out for the rest of the game
that
now.
That could be game over. He's heading up to the rooms. Yes, definitely a hamstring. He's just confirmed.
Nathan Casbolt gives away a free kick in the middle of the ground to Michael Clinch, who goes wide to the far wing with Lee Sutton. Massive long left foot, should kick it very deep into our forward line here. Straight out in front of Oliver Petroholis. Front and square there. Well done by Ethan Gant, who gives it and gets it back.
And running along the boundary. Kicks deep. Ball cut off by Willaston on their half-back line.
Poor kick inside.
Big mistake, bring the ball inboard. And Barossa player able to run onto it, and he's having a shot on goal. And he's kicked the goal. Barossa's first score of the game. So that brings the score Willaston 2-3-15 to 1 goal on the Grant Birch 1 scoreboard. And Angus Shapley with that goal for Barossa.
Disappointing mistake there by Willaston, which cost them a goal, being all over Barossa for the whole of the first term. So hopefully they can bounce back again in the midfield and quickly get another one back against this Breeze.
Breeze has actually dropped a little bit, it seems. There's definitely a case of walking wounded for Barossa. They've got several players that have headed up to the change room.
Looking like the groin or the inner hamstring for Will O'Brien there.
As both ruckmen go up, but neither wins a clear tap. Barossa player caught holding the ball.
Harry Elbro goes straight out the middle and turns. Goes long. Josh Walthunter underneath it, and Bray McConnell.
Well defended. Another snapshot, just rolls through for a point.
Lee Riswick grabs and goes, slips over with Tyson Elam hot in his tail, goes wide towards us, out into Nathan Casbolt.
And Casbolt now looking for a target. Got players screaming for it. Little short chip kick to the halfback flank.
Out in front of Lee Riswick.
Good hands to have it in. The most experienced player in the Barossa team. As he goes long, and a strong mark taken there but for Willaston.
Deacon Davis was the one that took that one. He's
Yes.
been very impactful so far, taking a couple good grabs.
He took some great marks in their last game against South Gawler in the wet.
Takes it forward. Tyson Elam out the back. Tries to break a tackle. Gets immediately tackled by two.
Game
And
tackled.
will be another stoppage on the forward flank for Willaston.
Willaston camping out in their forward line yet again. As the ball goes up, and Kurt Sizer with the tap. As we'll see another stoppage here as, some wrestling moves put on there by Waldhuter.
Was a weird tackle, wasn't it? Fell straight over the top.
Definitely wrestling style. Sizer with the tap again, comes out the back.
Terrell Rigney under immediate pressure from Lee Wiswick, who gives it out. Causes a stoppage and Josh Waldhunter wins it. Gives it to Hayden Moss and gets it back. Goes straight deep to Mickey Housen on Bray McConnell.
Well defended there, came in late, and it's a strong tackle applied to McConnell, but couldn't bring him down and got the ball away.
Isaac Polton goes to centre that there and kicks it
But
straight
unfortunately,
to Hayden.
I think it's been called out of bounds.
Great pressure there from Willaston.
Yes, boundary umpire right on the spot there, so he's going to throw the ball in.
Ball gets tossed in again. Hayden Moss doing the ruckback now. Hadji beats him. Brody Cormack gives it to Harry Elbro. Chips it forward straight away on Lachlan McCready's head. Oliver Petrohollis pinches it from him and has a bad bounce and goes through for a behind.
Good effort. Cormack was setting up behind that stoppage and worked perfectly.
One thing that has been crucial to the Willaston team, they have been really working of midfield. They've got quite a large midfield group at this club that's had to play various positions as well, but they have been including the wings and the high half forwards to try get in amongst those ruck taps and stuff like that.
And you would think that with Andrew Jarman as the coach, that would be a key area that the Donnybrooks are focusing on.
Definitely is.
As Barossa sending the ball forward, but unfortunately cut off once again.
Harry Elbro's free in the middle of the ground here.
And Clinch will be looking for someone to clear the ball.
Could go to him still. It's probably a difficult kick though with the breeze. Stead chooses to go up the ground. Not one Willaston player flies and Barossa intercept again.
The ball held up in the wind and dropped quickly. This is where Barossa have been breaking down. So he chooses to
switch.
A little short chip kick inside, doesn't find a target.
Bray McConnell then hits up. Is it Nathan? No, that's Julian Stowe.
Another young player in the Barossa team. He's driving the ball long with the wind. That's a huge kick. Straight through his teammates' hands, though, and a free kick given away by Barossa.
Seems to be in the hands of Sam. Is it Sam Walton? No, Harrison McKenzie's got another free kick here. And where does he choose to go? Probably will still go to that favour side with the wind. Yep, he chooses to do so. Up the line.
Strong Barossa presence at that contest.
Josh Waldhunter hacks it forward. And will be another stoppage on the wing. On the far side.
Yes, Willaston just choosing to play that defensive side when coming out of defence.
Will be a thing used a lot throughout this A-grade game. Whoever's going against the wind will choose to probably kick to that side with the breeze.
It's probably a good tactical ploy, as at Willaston it's very hard to get the ball away from there as an attacking team.
Especially with it being such a big oval.
So we're waiting for the ball now.
Josh Waldhunter gives it out to Lee Sutton, who hacks it forward. Brody Cormack picks it up and gives to Mickey Housen, who
good
chips
handball.
It forward. Terrell Rigney's out one-on-one here. Oh no,
And
Isaac
Rigney,
Polton.
Polton too quick for his and agile for the Barossa defender, ran around him and strolls in for an easy goal.
Very good so far, Isaac Polton's getting involved, kicked a couple goals, getting quite a few touches up on that high half forward roll.
Working hard, and the ball usually finds energy. So if you work hard and you keep moving, the ball does tend to find you.
Just in front of us here, Lockie Young coming on and Jake Tobin coming off.
This ball back to the middle now. Umpire Prentice about to throw it up. Hadju coming in from the side now. As the first quarter comes to an end here at Willaston. With the score, Willaston currently 3-goal
I think it's 22 to 1 goal 6 at the moment. There's been some scoreboard difficulties.
So 22-6 on the Grant Burge Wine scoreboard at quarter time. We'll be taking a break and we'll be back in a minute.
Too good for this area. Oh, hang on, they're too good for me.
As we head back here for the second term, 3 goal 5, 23 Willaston to 1 goal 6 Barossa.
Umpire Herman comes in now, ball up. Sizer with a good clear tap straight out to Waldherder, who drives the ball forward and with the wind almost goes the entire journey. In fact, does go the journey. But slightly offline, just a point.
Hayden trainer to kick out here. Oh no, gives it to Ethan Gant.
And
Barossa do have a couple out on this other side here, but do choose to go to the safe flank.
finds a target, but unfortunately he drops the ball. It's sharked by Willaston.
Michael Clinch gives it out to Brody Cormack, who should kick this.
And sprays it to the left. Had more time than I think he realised there.
Definitely did.
Probably needed someone to let him know that he could take the extra step. And Barossa will try and clear again.
Ethan Gant to kick the footy out again. Still doesn't know what side to go.
I
Chooses
think
to
he's
go to the
also
safe.
very wary of his footing there in that very sloppy goal square.
Kicks out in front of Luke Hadju, who puts the ball over at Willaston's forward flank again, down clubroom's end. Seems to be some of the sponsors are starting to make their way out, with a couple coming out to watch now from up there. Isn't there heaps at the moment? Hopefully we can see more in a bit.
And of course, today's major sponsor
Is ITR. They're Indigenous Training Recruitment. They've been our main sponsor to help out with our Indigenous stuff today, with it being Indigenous round and just main sponsorship in general. They've been a great help.
and do a lot of work in the construction industry.
They do.
Hiring Indigenous workers and creating career pathways.
Josh Walton has a shot from 50 and misses out on the fall on the far right side.
But Willaston just camping in their forward line as they did for much of that first quarter. As we're getting some scores from the other grounds, currently Freeling 6 points and South Gawler leading on 25.
That scoreboard's not actually as damaging as what I thought it would be, with South smashing Freeling by over 200 points last time they met.
But that game being played at Freeling and the weather could be very different out there. Could be a lot more, well, it is a lot more open and the wind
Yes.
would be howling.
Mud would be a lot boggier as well, so...
Yes, so unfortunately some of the grounds don't hold up as well as this one at Willaston. The Troy Benny Field, as he likes to call it. The big fella was on the phone during the week and he wanted another shout out.
Did he?
He's usually watching over in Port Lincoln.
Oh, very nice.
But yes, he did tell me repeatedly how good he was on this field. There's the ball out in that half-forward flank for Willaston now. Barossa with a big high kick. Holds up and just crumb to ground. Willaston unable to collect, so... Oh, and another big hit there.
Deacon
And a free
Davis.
kick given away.
Deacon Davis wins another free kick in the middle of the ground here. Been very courageous with flying at marks today. Goes again, should kick it straight up the middle, and has. Travels a distance, nearly flies over all the heads.
And Barossa with a hack out, but a good mark taken there.
Terrell Rigney
And Rigney,
could maybe go the distance with the wind.
with
It
the
would be
wind, should
testing
be
it.
thinking goal, but he's looking for a handball now as someone was trying to run past.
He's kicked it long and missed to the left. Had the distance covered.
Yes, but just probably gave it a bit too much.
Hayden trying to chips it out quick to Lee Riswick. They've gone courageous and out to this horrible side. Kicked out in front of Bray McConnell, who goes for a great mark. Isaiah McKenzie and Bray McConnell showing a bit of love to each other.
And currently quarter time in the game between Gawler Central and Kapunda. Gawler Central 2 goal 7 to Kapunda 2 goal 3, so a tight contest there at the dog track in Gawler. This ball now pops out the back. Ash Fry picks it up and with a nice clearing handball out to the wing.
Sutton hacks it forward. Could have a lucky bounce here. falls out in front of Mickey Housen, dodges around one, gets around two, and and Oliver Petroholis is socking it
kicked
through.
the goal just before his legs were taken out from underneath him. So Ollie with his first goal of the day. As Willaston now really starting to open this game up, kicking with the wind and taking full advantage. Barossa definitely going to have to do something to stop the bleeding. They should be probably setting up with an extra player on the defensive side of the contest. Umpire Herman gets ready to restart the game again. Comes in, throws it up. And Sizer with a good leap and a good tap. But picked up by Barossa and a good hack kick forward. Cut off.
Deacon Davis with another mark. Keeps popping up. Oh, shocking kick though. Works out for Terrell Rigney.
Rigney good enough to make the kick work. He pops the ball up into the forward 50 and a clear mark taken.
Oliver Petroholis. Great.
Looking
great
for
kick
his
there.
second goal. Good kick. He really put it out the front and where, well, he demanded with the kick where Petroholis went.
Oh, there seems to be another injury here for Barossa. This really isn't looking good.
And one of their bigger players, so definitely bad sign. As not sure because the number doesn't line up with our list. But
Hope
yes,
he's all okay,
bad
though.
news for the Bulldogs who are really running out of players quickly.
And Oliver Petroholis has slotted this second in a minute. Goes back to the middle.
And
Willaston really starting to open up this game now with the wind.
like shelling peas for the Donnybrooks at the moment.
So far, 2 goal kickers for Willaston, with 2 being Isaac Poln and Oliver Petroholis. 2 very reliable forwards. Oliver Petroholis and Mickey Housen being obviously the main 2 for the Willaston Football Club this year, both kicking bags. As we head into Luke Hadju and Kurt Sizer having another contest. Something's been called. Free kick to Barossa. Luke Hadju kicking against the breeze here. Chooses to go straight up the middle.
And quarter time at Tanunda in the game against Anguston, the big rivalry match. Tanunda 2-goal-8 to Anguston yet to score at quarter time.
Wow.
2-goal-8, so that's 10 shots to none in the first quarter.
Very inaccurate from Tanunda there.
Could be costly if they can't back it up.
You'd think that the breeze would be taken into factor there somewhere with Tanunda. You'd hope that Tanunda had the breeze in that situation. Otherwise, that is pretty embarrassing for Anguston, being one of the strongest sides this year.
Badly hit by injuries at the moment, the Panthers, and definitely weakened from what they were early in the season.
Tyson Elam hacks it forward. The wind takes it over a bit. Finds itself in Mickey Housen's hands, with Oliver Riggs battling with it.
And
Josh
2 players
Walhunter.
go in head first. And another wrestling move. Rolled Herder. I think he's been watching WWF all week.
Been watching the UFC.
He's putting on some really good moves.
Hacked forward. Can it find itself in? And just bounces across the face. Goes through for another behind.
Yes, Willaston really starting to put the hurt on the Bulldogs now. Now that takes them to 5-goal-9, 39 to Barossa, just 1 goal on the Grant Burgewine scoreboard.
Seems to be given a 25 of that away by Oliver Petroholis on accident. Seems to have knocked the ball out of Ethan Gant's hands.
Well, this will help Barossa because they've been struggling to get out of defence. So this will give them a chance to put the ball past centre, which they do. But Willaston able to clear it with Rigney now, handballing back.
Deacon Davis puts it out in front of Michael Clinch and gets it back.
Clinch taken from behind there and probably could have earned a free kick. And that hack kick goes out on the full from Willaston.
Ball will get tossed in again, out right in front of us here. Ethan Gant being all alone on the defensive stoppage.
And a good, couple of taps from Lee Rizek there.
Harry McKenzie jumps on it and creates a stoppage between him and Lachlan Young. Ball gets tossed up again. Kurt Sizer hits it down to Izzy McKenzie, straight to Tyson Erland. Great work there through the midfield for Willaston.
Erland with a big kick forward. Just missing his, not able to be taken by Hayden Moss.
Mickey Housen's gone for the Hail Mary and he's put it through for a behind. Josh Waldhunter doing the dirty work and getting it out to Mickey Housen there.
Waldhunter really starting to get some touches in this quarter. Probably a little quiet by his standards in the first. As we see another Barossa player heading into the change rooms, so really bad signs for the Bulldogs.
That's so far 2 injuries. Don't have an update on if the other one is all okay. You'd hope he can get back out there and come back with Barossa already having one setback with Ryan Watson.
With a hamstring injury that looks quite serious, and he's done for the day. And the umpires found a free kick going Barossa's way, so they've given them a chance to clear out of defence.
Ethan Gant's ball again. He's found quite a bit of the footy actually so far. It's been probably Barossa's best.
Been willing to put his body on the line, and he's earned a couple of free kicks by doing that. Kicks it long down that defensive boundary. And
what's happened there?
No, I've lost sight of that. It's a long way across there.
Looks like the ball's getting thrown in here. So we'll go again with another stoppage between Kurt Sizer and Luke Hadju, who've been going at it all day. Falls out the back to Michael Clinch, who clean pick up, gives it back to Jamie Clark.
Clark with a long kick up high and under.
Hayden Moss wins a free kick and is definitely in his range here.
And a bit of me time for Mossy. I think he'll really like this. What do you think his chances are of kicking this?
Hayden Moss is probably one of his strengths is his kicking skill, so I would back him in to kick this goal. It is quite a distance. He had the distance covered, and I reckon he's got the good enough kick to hit it.
With the wind, if he hangs it out a little to the left, it will come back. Looks like he has done that.
And he's slotted it.
He's put it straight through. Well done, Mossy. Willaston with their 6th goal of the match. But an inaccurate score now. That takes them to 6-goal, 10-46. Leading Barossa 1 goal on the Grant Burge Wine scoreboard. And a little bit of sunshine here now, so got the wind picking up, so really tough conditions for some of these players to get clean footy. Sizer with a big punch forward.
Harry Elbow gets it, gives it to Izzy McKenzie, who's chipped it up out in front. Could shepherd it through. Did it get touched? And Mickey.
Yes, Mickey Housen unable to either mark it or shepherd it through. Probably was caught between doing both and probably didn't do it enough in the end. I'm surprised he didn't try and take a mark over the top of his opponent.
Not like he normally does.
Bit muddy in that goal square for him to get traction. There's the ball out on the far side.
Michael Clinch with a big fist there, puts the ball over. Ball gets tossed in again. Harry Elborough finds himself on it, gives it back to Michael Clinch. Gets through a couple, chips it forward. Harrison McKenzie's got space, turns and goes, could go for home. Lowers his eyes instead, and
ball just clears the Barossa defender's fingertips.
Mickey Housen gives it over the top to Isaac Polton. Nearly had a lucky bounce. Great tackle there by Barossa.
Excellent tackle. Ethan Gant doing more of the grunt work. He's putting on a bit of a clinic for his Barossa teammates today. They do need to follow his example.
Great pick up there by Nathan Casbolt. Gets around a couple.
Dancing.
Gets around, that's his third opponent. Chips it forward that time.
Barossa player at the back of the contest able to pick it up.
They've got a number out the back here. Well, very courageous by Jamie Clark there. Gets a finger in between and applies a great tackle. Barossa fans not too fond of that tackle.
Not
Seems
happy, but umpire Prentice was in perfect position to see that from the other side of the contest.
Ball gets whacked forward. Lockie McCready and Bray McConnell sitting under it.
McConnell drops the sitter.
Tyson Erland picks up the spills, chips it forward out in front of Brodie Cormack.
And strong mark taken, and he'll be shooting from probably 30 to 35 metres from goal.
Hopefully he can kick his first here, Brodie. And he's slotted it straight through the middle.
Goal umpire not having to work too hard for that one. As Michael Clinch comes to the bench for a rest for the Donnybrooks. He's been doing a lot of work on the back play today, so someone's going to have to cover that role while he's having a rest.
They'll probably put that back into the hands of Deacon Davis again. Been doing a lot of the high flying. Ball gets tossed up again. Kurt Sizer tries to slap it down to Tyson, who chips it forward. Harrison McKenzie finds himself on it. Harry Elbow, Tyson Earlham. Great work out the middle from Willaston, and Tyson Earlham goes for goal and kicks it.
Captain's goal. Well done. I think he backed himself very early when he got the ball and was open. He knew he had a chance to just carry it all the way.
Yeah, Tyson's always pretty confident with stuff like that. He always knows.
He's a pretty confident fella, isn't he?
If he knows he can kick it, he'll go for it. Willaston seem just to be winning this game out the middle. They're getting a lot of quick exits out the middle, and with this breeze, they're able to have shots at goal, which has led to probably, I'd say, 3 or 4 of the goals this quarter.
Yes, Barossa being a couple players down and not having much bench, I don't know that they've got enough muscle around the contest.
As you speak of it there, Izzy McKenzie wins it out the middle and hits it straight out in front of Hayden Moss, who will go for another shot.
And with the breeze, distance won't be a problem. He'll be kicking from probably 45 metres.
He kicked one from a harder angle before, so I'd back him in to kick this one again.
And there's no way that he would pass this.
And he has slotted it.
That is a beautiful kick. Didn't look like missing. So 2 goals now for Moss, who's come into the team from the reserves.
He's been really pushing at the door to try to get a game in the A grade, playing a lot of the A grade in the first of the year, and has earned his spot and is so far proving that he deserves a spot.
Yes, he's really giving you a marking target up forward, which you haven't had all year. It's been a lot of small forward work, but he's giving you some size to really outmatch Barossa's defence.
Yeah, most of our big targets have been like Oliver Petroholos and Josh Waldhunter, who's now found himself a spot in the midfield, so that's opened up a role for Hayden to snap up, and he's done well so far today.
And another clearance for Willaston here.
Bray McConnell gets his hands to it against Josh Waldhunter.
Nearly pulled down a very good mark, but unfortunately we'll have a stoppage in Willaston's, just inside Willaston's forward 50. Ball tap backwards and Willaston getting their hands to it.
Off, spills to Mickey Housen.
Housen just in the right spot at the right time with his left foot, just chips through another goal.
Willaston really starting to pile the goals on now, with a lot of 2 goal scorers for Willaston being Michael Housen with 2, Oliver Petroholos with 2, Brodie Cormack 1, Tyson Earlham 1, Isaac Polton 2, and Hayden Moss 2.
And the lone goal scorer for Barossa, Angus Shapley. Very lonely.
At least they've been accurate, you can say. With their 1 goal, they've hit the target.
Got to try and find the positives. But it's becoming a procession here for Willaston, and you'd think that Barossa are going to have to do something serious. Lee Rizek needs to have an influence on this game. He hasn't so far. So he needs to be put into the middle and just stamp his authority, or at least show a bit of veteran leadership out there.
Ethan Gant goes hard at the footy again and gets wrapped up by Isaiah McKenzie. And there'll be another stoppage around the midfield here. Kurt Sizer flying up again, wins the taps. Ethan Gant reads it best again. He's found a lot of the footy here. He's really trying to...
He's really putting his body on the line. And Sizer now clearly winning the taps almost every time. And
Josh
I haven't
Warhunter.
seen such a dominant performance from Willaston Ruckman since the Troy Benny days.
Sammy Walton wins the ball out the middle. Oliver Petrohollis to Izzy McKenzie, showing his pace out in front of Tyson Lane. Puts it out on Hayden Moss's head.
Well defended there.
Lockie Elliott front and square finds himself in Isaac Polton's hands.
Yes.
Just kicked his third.
Polton just getting another goal on what's turning out to be a very good day for the young man.
He's been fighting for a spot in and out of the reserves as well. And so far, with Hayden Moss coming back in and Isaac Polton coming back in, and it's really going to be hard for when some of our injured players come back to find a spot.
Yes, definitely strengthening the Willaston lineup, as they're currently full strength, or near full strength. Get ready for another ball up in the middle.
Up he goes, Kurt. Wins it once again. Josh Waldhunter spills it forward. Nearly karate kicked it out the air. I think it was Julian Stowe.
Willaston driving into their forward line once again. And a big tackle. Sees the ball wrapped up and we'll have a stoppage probably 35, 40 metres from Willaston's goal. The Donnybrooks are threatening to kick another one here and turn this into a really big quarter.
Lachlan Elliott reads it best there. Tried to barge through and goes back and gets the tackle again. That favourite mullet of yours, the glorious mullet.
Yes, and he was excellent in their last game against South Gawler. One of the best individual performances I think I've seen for the season.
He loves the hard ball, I'll tell you that, and he's always shows 100% effort and goes in.
You couldn't be soft with a mullet like that.
Lee Riswick's kicked it forward. Barossa seemed to out and have their first attack of the quarter. Deacon Davis finds himself back on it again.
And picked it up cleanly and now clears down that outer wing. He's found a teammate.
Terrell Rigney.
Rigney going deep.
To Hayden Moss.
It's the Moss factor.
He had a shot from here before and kicked it. Seems to have been lowering his eyes. He's put it on Mickey Housen's head and he just dropped it. Had a couple grabs at it.
He didn't get high enough.
Yeah, he should have gone over the top of the shoulders instead of.
If he'd been standing on the guy's head, he would have taken it.
Ball get tossed in again, deep in Willaston's 50. You'd hope Barossa would be praying for the siren any time now. This is really getting damaging. Hopefully they can bring it back when they have the wind.
Sizer with a little deft tap, unable to be picked up by his player. So Barossa with a clearance now.
Michael Baraglia, 2v1, seems to be out the back here. Jamie Clark under immediate pressure. Gets gang tackled by two. And the ball will be thrown up on the far wing, scoreboard side.
And no clear winner of that contest as Barossa get a clearing kick.
Sean Childs, always reliable, stands in the way and intercept marks the footy there.
Sean Childs been a little quiet today, hasn't had a lot of work to do in defence, so he's probably been getting a little cold back there. Goes to Ash Fry, who's now looking to bring the ball out to this side with a switch.
Lee Sutton there. Goes again. Willaston has switched it quickly here. Lockie McCready could be on it here. There's two of them. Has an ugly bounce. Julian Stowe gets best there. And Craig Dowsey's jumped on it and wins a free kick.
Taken high. Probably a lazy tackle. Willaston player not happy with the free kick, but it was definitely there.
Craig Dowse hacks it forward and falls straight into Deacon Davis' hands, who's dropped the mark. Ash Fry on the ground manages to wheeze his way out of it.
Davis,
Dylan Vitnell,
who's been able to take marks all game, drops probably one of the easiest ones he's had a chance at.
and Oliver Petrohollis kicks a barrel and it falls in Mickey Housen's hands.
And Housen with another running goal.
And that's his third for the day.
It's going to be a bit of competition to see who's the leading goal kicker for the Donnybrooks at the end of the day.
Isaac Polton with 3 and Housen with 3 so far, and Petrohollis and Moss not too far behind with 2.
As Childs comes to the bench now, and Clinch coming back on to float across half-back as he has been earlier in the game. As umpire Herman moves in now with the bowl. Sizer with another clear win, but
Craig
Barossa
Dowse.
able to get the ball.
Craig Dowsey goes hard at the footy there, gets tackled again, trying to spill it out, and Tyson Earlham and Isaiah McKenzie seem to hold that one up. Ball gets tossed up against Sizer using his body here. Nathan Casbolt goes third man up and didn't get full connection with the ball, and it seems to be another stoppage after stoppage here. We're also trying to congest the game or getting more numbers through the midfield.
Needing to shut the game down to catch their breath.
Bringing a lot of their high half forwards up now to bring into the game so Willaston can't break out with using Michael Clinch and Lee Sutton and Deacon Davis.
As
They're
Clinch
creative
was unable to
halfbacks.
get his hands on that ball initially, now gets it back. Drives the ball long into the forward line. As we see Howson try and fly, but had no one under him to use as a ladder.
And pins Oliver Riggs holding the ball and will line up for his fourth.
Great second effort from Howson there. That's what makes him such a dangerous player. He's not just marking, running forward. He will do the dirty work.
Thrives himself on his pressure. That's another thing that he really loves. And goes to snap it here. And has slotted it through. That's 4.5 for Michael Howson. And it is really shaping up for a big day for Willaston and himself.
Did he have any in the first quarter, or is that all this quarter?
I reckon he had the first goal of the game.
Oh,
so he
correct.
had one in the first quarter, and he's had 3 since then in this quarter.
Yes. Willaston absolutely dominating this game now. 13 goal, 11 to 1 goal on the Grant Burgewine scoreboard. It's really getting scary now for Barossa. Barossa haven't been blown away in a lot of their games since the early rounds of the season. They have been losing, but not by terrific margins. But today I think Willaston are looking to put a huge number up.
Yeah, I reckon Tanunda was the last game that had a pretty damaging loss. But since then, yeah, they've been quite a competitive side. As Sammy Walton skyrockets the ball off his foot there. Julian Stowe gives it to Bray McConnell to Oliver Riggs, who runs off of half-back.
Kicks the ball wide.
To Dylan Coleman. Gets around one. Chips it forward.
Finds a
out
teammate.
Jake Tobin. Brings it back inboard. Under immediate pressure, though.
Good handball.
Ethan Gant, the always reliable. Gets it again and chips it forward. Doesn't have much to kick it to, and Harry Elbro takes an intercept mark. Can switch and does
switching
so.
now. Finds Sutton, who comes wider still.
Fitnell gives the handball off to Harry McKenzie, who gives it off again to Lachlan McCready. He's under immediate pressure. Gets around one and goes for home.
Had a teammate ahead of him screaming for the ball, who was clear.
Comes off the side of the boot there. Ends up going through for a behind.
Big let off there for the Bulldogs. So we see Will O'Brien coming back onto the field, replacing Josh Dyer.
Leg seems to be holding up all right for Will O'Brien, so he's back out on the ground, which is good news for Barossa. Haven't had much news from the other player that was injured. Hopefully he's all okay.
As throw in on the outer side now.
Hayden Moss punches it forward out in front of Tyson Earlham, who tries to
Earlham
hack
bowled
it
over,
forward.
but smacks the ball back to a teammate. Gets the handball away now.
Josh Waldhunter snaps it from that far side out in front of Oliver Petroholis. Nathan Casper under immediate pressure from Mickey Howson, and he kicks his fifth.
The ball sat just inside the line there. He was able to run back into play and pick it up with a beautiful left foot snap there. It is the Michael Howson
Looks
quarter.
like he's being made to re-kick the footy here and has to reline up, so don't know why that was. Mustn't have gone over his mark. I'd still back him in to kick it though.
That is very, very unusual. as he puts it through, much to the delight of the sponsors and the crowd.
No, he kicked him point. Tried to celebrate it like it was a goal, but in the end turns to a point. Pretty unfortunate there for Michael Housen.
Yes, he'd be pretty disappointed with losing one at goal.
5 sounds a lot more nicer than 4, I'll tell you that, especially in a half.
He's got plenty of time to get another, though. And the way Willaston are playing, he's got every opportunity, as the ball will be coming back in now. The player going to be kicking from 50.
Tyson Earlham being that player, kicks it straight into the middle. No one flies at the footy, and Craig Dowse comes through and intercepts.
The only player who went for the ball.
There's not really one player on the close side to us for Barossa. All of them pushed to that far side to really congest that other wing. Ethan Gant kicks it to Oliver Riggs.
Riggs juggled that and was able to go back and get it.
Willaston setting up very well here, with Oliver Riggs kicking it forward. Oh, big fly with Lee Riswick.
Lee Riswick went for that and nearly took a great mark.
Tapped it forward to himself there. Barossa seeming to be out here.
Using hands. Now a short kick.
Lee Sutton chops it off again, off half-back. Willaston's intercept defending has been brilliant today. They've intercepted literally every chance that Barossa have had. Ethan Gant makes his first mistake for the day, I'd say, and Sammy Walton slaps it up.
Well, you got to make a bad mistake to let Sam Walton run around you at his age. And that brings the first half to a close here at Willaston, with the Donnybrooks 13 goal 13, 91, leading Barossa District 1 solitary goal on the Grant Burge Wine scoreboard. We'll be back for the second half in a little while.
He brings his gear and he's fucking like, I know I'm intruding on people's space. I get it. Common sense, you don't have to. Well, as you can see, they sort of like, they were higher, but they just sort of sagged down because they people sit down and stuff. No, that's okay. Well, so if the game's going on, I'll go. I'm afraid if they did on that one, then some of the gear might get through. Not that it should, but you know, there's always a prize. No.
only like it when we win, man.
Donnybrook.
Hey, you're gonna take a hit to the head, mate. You're gonna be tough. You took it today. At least you're 17. Nah, you're 15. You're 15 for sure.
That was the other half.
At least you're 15 to 13. Most of his cans were done. You guys don't like the money. Still there support. Netball, really? Oh, how was that goal shooter? Holy shit.
That's probably the word.
Yeah, this is your pick. He's 62. Where is it? Right, I'm coming in.
Okay, we're back again at Willaston, heading into the second half, which is going to be a really interesting second half. We've now got in commentary Rob Polito, one of the leading umpires of the BLG. Rob, how are you?
Good, thanks, Michael.
How have you seen the game so far?
Look, Willaston have just been totally dominant, haven't they? They're very strong around the footy, and that second quarter they just blew Barossa away. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Barossa can do.
Yes, Barossa, I believe 2 players down currently, with Ryan Watson popping a hamstring in the first quarter, and another player injured as well. I'm not sure of the result of that injury.
I'm not sure about. I definitely know Watson. He's just looking over here. His right hamstring is on ice, so he's obviously gone. He's probably gone for about 3 or 4 weeks.
He confirmed that it went pop, which is never a good sign.
Not a nice feeling either, Michael.
I wouldn't know. I don't move fast enough to do hamstrings.
Yeah, I don't move fast enough, but I seem to do them all the time.
As does one of the umpires out there today, Mark Herman, tweaked his hamstring on Wednesday night at training, so he's doing well just to be getting around out there.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
And Ryan Prentice also been pretty good today, pretty solid.
Look, I haven't noticed them. Ryan's one of the upcoming umpires of the league. He's very good. He's only about 21 years of age, but very impressive.
Yes, definitely bodes well for the future of the panel. And the umpires, as you said, we've hardly noticed them today. They've had no impact on the game at all.
No, absolutely. That's the way it should be.
And looks like we're about to get it going. Umpire Prentice with the ball in the middle. And goes up, and Sizer with another tap. Actually, it was Harrison McKenzie going up for the tap that time. And Willaston with a quick clear and kick out of the contest. Lockie Elliott just ran past, but then got the handball back. Kicks the ball forwards. And able to pick the ball up with a spin there. Barossa clearing with handball, now running, kicking the ball out to this near wing. Goes over the contest, but cleanly picked up there. Well done. It was Julian Stowe, who's picked the ball up a few times very cleanly today. Barossa going forward for one of their rare forward forays. Probably a poorly directed kick there. Michael Bragley be really upset with himself for that. Prides himself on playing well. One of the few veterans in this Barossa lineup, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's probably close to 36, 37, Michael. He's doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, he's one of the old school players. He's been at the club for a very long time. As we see another boundary throw in. Barossa with a big goal, the second of the game. Big kick around the corner as Jake Tobin scores the second goal of the match for the Barossa district.
And that's probably what Barossa need. Get off to a good start in the quarter. Get a bit of enthusiasm going. They've got a bit of a breeze going here today. It's dropped off probably a little bit, but it's probably worth 2 or 3 goals, so that's definitely the start they needed.
Yes, and they haven't been forward very many times so far in the game, but to do that on your first forward entry of the half, definitely a positive.
Absolutely.
And I know there was a bit of noise in the Barossa room at half-time, so I think they'll be trying to come out and have an impact. You've played a lot of footy on this ground, Rob. The outer side, is that purely a defensive side?
Not really. Look, it's great for, you like the open spaces, so it gives players plenty of room to run into. So, no, absolutely not.
Okay, and ball back in Willaston's forward line as we'll see a ball up now. And Sizer with a clear tap there. Just taps it backwards. But Barossa with a clearing kick. And coming straight back again. As Lee Rizik unable to control that ball. Another quick kick into their forward line. As we'll see a ball up on the far side in the forward pocket. Definitely Barossa looking to clear the ball out of the area. But Willaston setting up well behind the ball, which they've done all day. As Barossa now breaking away, clearing, switching the play. Ball just knocked forward, and Lockie Elliott in the mix again. He's just a relentless worker. Barossa getting the ball away now, and a big strong mark taken by Ash Fry. I'm surprised he got off the ground there, Rob.
Yeah, well, he's probably the wrong side of 30, so he did pretty well to take that mark.
And kicks forward, but a great intercept mark taken there. Nathan Casbold, who's been very good all day.
Yeah, he's doing it pretty tough, Nath. He's probably one of the best defenders in the league, but just with that ball being driven inside 50, just relentlessly, it's a bit like trying to stop the tide today.
And Michael Baraglia there collected the ball inside the forward line and slammed the ball forwards, but unfortunately out of bounds. So we'll see a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Barossa District. If they can pluck another goal here, they'll really get some momentum going. Then they'll only be 13 goals down.
Only 13. I think
10.
that scoreboard's not quite correct.
No, it's not. Ball thrown in now. Sizer with another tap. As I said earlier, I haven't seen this dominant a performance from Willaston Ruckman since the days of Troy Benny.
Troy Benny, far out. That is going back a long time.
It is. That's how rare it is.
That's circa 1990s and even early 2000s, Troy Benny.
But don't worry, he will tell us how good he is every opportunity he gets.
He was a pretty good ruckman.
He's pretty good at a lot of things, according to Troy. And unfortunately, his offsider Brandon Noddle suffering a ACL injury playing Masters footy last week.
Is that right? Are you serious?
Yes.
I thought he could go forever, old Brandon. That's quite sad.
Well, he probably will go forever. He'll get it fixed and keep going. That's why there's a vacancy in the Brandon Noddle pocket today. As Barossa going forward again, but well spoiled there. Willaston clearing out now. Strong mark taken. And
that's Polton.
Polton took the ball well, but
lucky not to be
tackled.
pin holding the ball there.
Be a boundary throw in. Probably very lucky. Polton's been good today. He's kicked a couple of goals and taken some great marks.
And he's just got genuine speed.
Tough conditions for a lightweight bodied player like him today, but he's shown a lot of poise. Barossa player overruns the ball there and is tackled immediately when he gains it. So we'll have a ball up directly in front of us on the centre wing. And Willaston player getting to his feet there with the ball. And a quick hacking kick forward there. Lockie Elliott stands up in the tackle, gets the ball away. Now handball chain.
I'll tell you what, I think Lockie Elliott would be a bit upset with you calling that's actually Lachlan McCready with the footy there.
My apologies.
Oh, that's all right.
It's just one mullet looks like every mullet today. He's kept that ball in somehow.
He's kept that in brilliantly, has Wildhutter.
Yes, that was fantastic. Knew not to take the ball in his hands, just tapped it back into himself. There's a crowd starting to get it animated here. You love listening to the experts in the crowd, don't you, Rob?
Oh, they're just fantastic. And I love the way they know the rules.
Yes, and that's why as umpires you often boundary umpire for a few years before you become a field umpire. That's so you can learn the rules from the crowd, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
As we see a stoppage deep in Willaston's forward line. Thrown in Hadju with a tap there. And Barossa clear and kick out. And drops the mark he should have taken, and Waltuta slams the ball back to the goal square. As Hayden Moss tries to kick it around the corner.
And just looking at that tackle, I was going to say that had to be Wildhutter, but it wasn't. He's just a beast.
He's put on some great wrestling moves today.
Oh. Well, if he gives up footy, I know what sport he can venture into.
Kick around the corner. And he's nailed a
Kicked
goal.
another goal. Another one to Polton.
Polton. It's really having an impact on the game, the young man. How old would he be?
He'll be 21. He's 21 this year if he hasn't already turned 21. So that's his fourth.
Yes, having a great day out. Michael Howson still on 4 goals after that brilliant second quarter.
And it was like he brought his own football, Michael.
Well, I thought he did for a while there. That one that he kept in play and ran back onto it.
Yeah, he was probably a bit unlucky not to be given another goal. He played on, and Ryan Prentice brought him back, and then he missed the set shot.
As we're back in the middle now, ball up, and Sizer with a back tap. And getting the ball thrown around now, Willaston. Let's see another strong tackle on the half-forward line for Barossa Districts. So Barossa already having more forward entries in this quarter than they did in the last 2 quarters. As they go forward again, another kick out of the pack. And a big mark taken there. Michael Baraglia. The wind, unfortunately, has dropped. But he's going to be going for a very rare goal. Doesn't kick a lot of goals, old farter. Comes in now. He's popped it up. It's gone across the face and will be knocked over the boundary for a throw-in. Now, you umpired here earlier today before some of the downpours. There's a couple of spots on the ground that are a little tough. That forward area is one of them.
Oh, look, it's not too bad. It's probably these wings here that are a bit heavy, but it's been pretty fine for most of the day since this morning. And considering the rain we've had this week, the oval's are pretty good condition.
And the oval has to be in good condition. If it's going to have Troy Benny's name attached to it, it's got to be in pristine order.
Yeah, it's not a bad surface, the Willaston Oval. Repairs itself pretty well after some rain and heavy traffic. The venue for the grand final this year, Michael.
Okay. Always a good spot on grand final day.
Yeah, good place to watch footy.
Yes, can get a big crowd in here. As Willaston clearing the ball there. Mistake by the Barossa player, just coughed it up into the Willaston player's arms. Going forward with handball now. That's a long run. He's kept it low. He's bounced it through for a goal.
That's Polton's fifth.
Just, you can see the afterburners go on there. The young man just torched everyone. He's lucky he kicked the goal though.
Oh, well. Fortune favours the brave, Michael. No, he backed himself in, which was really good footy.
Which you would have done being a Hollywood-type player yourself.
No, mate. I was out here on the wing selling hot dogs. I didn't have much going for me at all, mate.
I think we'll just leave that there. So the umpires still not having an impact on the game. You'd be pretty happy with their performance so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where can Barossa stop the bleeding?
First thing they're going to do is start winning the footy, the contested football, I think, and I think that's just where Willaston's just dominant here at the moment. There's just too many strong bodies in the middle, and then when they do go forward, they've just got multiple options, and they bring the footy to the ground, Willaston, quite well, and then they've just got running power.
And speaking of the strong bodies, I'm very surprised they haven't used Lee Rizzick around the stoppages a little bit more.
Well, he's in there now, but unfortunately, yeah, he's just doing it all by himself.
There's a free kick given away there for a push in the back. Well, I thought it was.
It was, but Herman played advantage, which was the right call. Mackenzie got caught.
Yes, and Barossa going forward now. They've got a bit of space and they're running. Chip kick forward. Very well done.
And there's another player too, Ethan Gant. Very, very good footballer. So if he can get himself into the game.
He did a power of work in that first half. But that was a really good kick to the leading player, who's now lining up for a set shot on goal.
Looks like Josh Dyer.
popped it up and unfortunately gone wide. So behind for the Bulldogs. That'll take them to two. I believe they'll be 3 goals.
No, 2 goals, 1.
2 goal, 1.
Michael, and as Polton comes off the ground, just holding his head after a pretty heavy collision.
And Willaston clearing to that outer side. Seen all the play on that outer side today. Looks like we'll have another stoppage. Strong tackling being a key feature of this game today.
Yeah, like days like today where the ball doesn't move as quick. Yeah, but Willaston playing a really hard physical brand of footy. Every time Barossa get the footy, the pressure's there.
And that's been a hallmark of Willaston. The last 3 games they've played, I've seen them, and strong tackling has been a true core tenet of their game. Okay, as we see Willaston looking to go forward.
It looks like Barossa to me.
Barossa have now turned it over. They've got control, moving the ball through the middle of the ground better than they did in the first half. Somehow they've managed to clean up that aspect of their game. Going into the forward 50 now. And well collected there. But tackled immediately. And Barossa players now pouncing on the loose ball. They've definitely got a lot more energy. It's a high ball into the goal square. Unfortunately, the Barossa player couldn't pick it up there. So we see a strong tackle about 30 metres directly in front of the Barossa goal. We'll have another ball up. But definitely the energy level for Barossa has risen.
Absolutely. So just getting their hands on the footy a little bit more about the contest. That breeze is still worth a couple of goals, but makes a big difference.
And Willaston now with a big clearing kick to the outer side and knocked forward. But Barossa players seemingly out there and just finding space on their own now, which they couldn't do in the first half of the game.
You just don't know. You sort of wonder whether Willaston have just relaxed a little bit, or especially with a 13, 14 goal lead. It's not uncommon for sides to do that.
Yes, currently on the Grant Burge Wine scoreboard, Willaston 15 goal 13 91, leading Barossa 2 goal 1 13.
Yeah, so not the strong point, the young scoreboard attendance. I'm pretty sure 15-13 is 103.
As a school teacher, thank you for
no worries.
bringing that up.
So exactly 100 points the difference.
Yes, and got some half-time scores from around the grounds. Currently at half-time, Gawler Central 3 goal 8, leading Kapunda 3 goal 6 at the dog track. And at Freeling currently on 19 points, South Gawler on 58. And at Tanunda leading 5 goal 9 39 to Anguston 3 goal 2 20. Anguston was scoreless at quarter time, but have come back well. Clearly a breeze at Tanunda. And Barossa cleaning up across half-back now. Oh, that's a big hit in the air.
By Rigney.
Fair
Umpires
hit.
let it go.
Fair hit, I thought.
And there's a bit of a dust up here on the wing. Lockie Elliott. Looks like he's having a bit of a how-to-do with Michael Braglia.
I wouldn't want to mess with either of those two characters. And Willaston switching through Ash Fry back in defence. Going to the outside. Strong mark taken. Now running the ball. Coming back into the middle. It's a dangerous kick.
Dangerous. Very lucky.
Elliott,
Lockie Elliott
good
takes
enough
the
to
mark.
take the mark and comes out to this wing looking for Polton. Polton picks it up on the bounce and it's tackled immediately, but he's good enough to get the handball away. Goes forward, Petroholis. Sutton unable to contain the ball. Barossa hacking it forward now. It's Elliott again with another good handball under pressure. He's collected now with a strong tackle. Barossa definitely the intensity rising. And they're really looking to challenge in this quarter.
Yeah, just Willaston playing a little bit cute footy there. Just probably overusing the footy when they needed to move it forward.
And Barossa wasted opportunity there. A handball to a player under pressure from 3 Willaston players. Now Willaston moving the ball down this wing.
Oh, not much pressure there.
And too easy there to just run through, run past players. That's an area that Barossa are going to need to tighten up on, just be more accountable. Too many of their players just letting Willaston players run past freely.
Yeah, there wasn't much pressure on Elbrow then when he took the mark.
There's another ball up. That's centre half forward for Willaston. And Barossa were able to drag that ball out from the contest, a hacking kick. And Gant Byrne is bursting out into the open now, driving the ball forward. Finds his target on the bounce. Gets a handball away under pressure with a tackle. Another chipping kick back in, and another mark taken.
Baraglia
becoming the danger man for Barossa. I'm not sure if he's lost. He doesn't usually spend a lot of time up forward.
No, normally he plays across half back or in the midfield, so he's probably enjoying himself playing up there. He's a smart footballer.
Smart's a word that doesn't often get used with Baraglia, but...
Bit tough, Michael?
Hey, I know the guy.
Do
it's
you?
okay.
Oh, I've always found him to be a highly intelligent man.
Yeah, but you may not be the best judge.
Thanks.
As he kicks truly. Maybe he's missed his calling. So it's a 3rd goal of the day for Barossa. And they move to 3-2-20 on the Grant Burge 1 scoreboard, trailing Willaston 15-13, 103. Umpire Herman back in the middle. Hamstring seems to be holding up well.
They're big hamstrings, though, aren't they?
They are getting larger, aren't they? But we're not going to throw him under the bus like that.
No, he's going all right, old Hermie.
Old is definitely the word. Again, size with a tap. And another strong tackle.
He's just been totally dominant today, hasn't he, over young Hadji?
Yes.
He has a fair crack, though, the young lad.
Hadji fights well, but unfortunately, strength-wise, Sizer has huge advantage.
And with that, Herman's pulled out a free kick to Rieswick.
Rizik with that long raking kick. Goes forward, goes over the contest. Willaston with the kick. And handball receives it back. Gets it onto his foot and is unceremoniously dumped after he kicked it.
Yeah, he did all the hard work there, Deacon Davis. He kept the ball in front, one possession, and then kicks it out on the full after some good pressure from
and got
Barossa.
cleaned up for his efforts.
Yeah, now he's just having a bit of a wrestle there with Will O'Brien, another young lad from Barossa. So I suppose
not much of a fair contest.
Yeah, well, how old's O'Brien? 15?
He looks it.
He's only a young man. Old Housen, he's been quiet, gets a handball.
Michael Housen, he's been quiet this quarter. Haven't seen a lot of the ball.
Wild Hutter doesn't want to kick on his non-preferred left, so gets it over to Rigney.
Rigney nearly slipped but kept his feet. Drives the ball deep. And good strong mark taken back in defence, virtually on the goal line.
That was
and good clearing kick out of defence. Barossa working the ball down the outer side. And that good chain of marks. They haven't done that all day. And another one taken, so Barossa starting to play with a bit of confidence now. He drives the ball forward. Another mark taken. Barossa are actually looking like they're putting together some good football.
That was probably their best passage you played today.
And another mark taken, and looks like Lee Rizik will be taking a shot for goal from deep in the pocket. You'd think that he should be able to pull this one off.
Yeah, it's a tight angle, but man of visibility probably should slot this.
Comes in, kicks through it with a good drop punt.
And he has missed.
He's missed, unfortunately. Golden opportunity for the Dogs there.
Well, we probably put the mockers on him there, Michael.
Well, we've been known to do that as commentators. I blame you personally.
Okay, I'll take the blame.
I'm glad we got that recorded because you don't often accept responsibility for things like that.
No, not true. So it looks like Sutton, he'll play on. He'll move and get onto that raking left foot. Mongrel sort of a kick.
Doesn't advantage anyone, just bounces into a pack of players, and we'll have another stoppage out on the 50 metre, just outside the 50 metre line on the outer side. Barossa probably haven't taken advantage of the wind this quarter as much as they should have.
Yeah, but in fairness, they've started winning a lot more of the footy, and they've scored a couple of goals this quarter. They only had one at half time, so they've kicked a couple this quarter.
But Willaston have also dried up their ability to just walk through and get everything has disappeared. Barossa have made it a lot harder for them.
Absolutely, and just a very wayward shot at goal and another behind to Barossa there.
It's definitely, the tide has dried up for the Donnybrooks, and you'd think Andrew Jarman would be wanting them to really put this one away now that they've built up such an advantage at the half-time.
Well, I think they might be in fifth spot, and it's their percentage that's keeping him in that spot because he's pretty tight at the top. So he'd be looking at a percentage boosting win here today. So he'd want to take advantage of the situation they're in at the moment.
Okay, a three-quarter time update from Tanunda. Tanunda 7 goal 10-52, leading Angerson 5 goal 2-32. And Angerson to be kicking to what appears to be the scoring end in the fourth.
Yep. So another boundary ball up on the outer side. Won by Willaston again. Quick kick by the Willaston player, and it looks like that will go out of bounds on the full. So Barossa will take a free kick.
And three-quarter time at Freeling. Freeling 24, trailing South 80.
Yeah, it just hasn't been a great year for Freeling this year.
No, very, very tough, and very tough to call their games, in fact. There's ball on the outer side now. Barossa looking to go forward. Ball goes over the back of the contest. And Willaston hacking kick backwards.
Just throwing it around a fair bit, Willaston, and just being a bit cute. And that'll go out of bounds on the outer side.
Yeah, probably they've not been as direct as they were in the first half. That's possibly why they've dried up. They've tried to move the ball around and go to the flanks a lot more. Whereas the first half, their strength was that they just drove straight through the middle.
Yeah, I think the combination of one, Barossa getting their hands on the footy, and there you go again, winning another football at the contest, but also just trying to be a bit cute, I think. So Barossa go forward again.
And Kurt Sizer coming to the bench for a well-earned rest. Replaced by Brodie Cormack. So with Sizer off the field, can Hadji manage to have an impact at the stoppages? As we see the ball bouncing around, Barossa having another shot on goal. Goes through for a behind, and that brings the third quarter to a close here at Willaston with the score. Willaston 15 goal 13, 103. They've got that right now. Well done, Mr. Polito. And Barossa 3 goal 5, 23 on the Grant Burge Wine scoreboard.
So just a slight win to Barossa that quarter.
Yes, Barossa definitely earned some respect in that quarter, but a little too late, I'm afraid. And we'll be having an interview momentarily with one of Willaston's major sponsors. So we'll just sign off for a moment and then I'll set up that interview.
have the chicken pie or the beef pie? Chicken, this big fat gourmet pies with roasted spuds, carrots and beans. He's gonna stack some willow stickers on the side and make it merch.
He's going to move the cows off Barossa.
Yes, we're here live with
David Myers.
David Myers from ITR, Indigenous Training and Recruitment.
That's correct. Yep.
You're the major sponsor of the Willaston Football Club today
I'm proud to be
for the Indigenous round, something that's obviously very important to you and your business.
Yep, it is really, really important. It's really, really important. It's really, really important because, you know, look, it's probably football, especially local football, is ground level. And it's really, really good for Aboriginal people to build up the skills that they need to get into employment. So we're really, really proud to be here, actually.
And Willaston have got a proud history of Indigenous footballers starring for their football club and becoming important cogs in their club. Sean Childs, who designed the Indigenous Guernsey, has been playing here for about a decade, and you're proudly displaying it now.
Yep.
And it's a magnificent job he's done, and I think he's building a great reputation within the Indigenous community himself.
Look, I agree as well because, like I said, the leaders of Aboriginal communities to do this type of recognition is just awesome for Aboriginal people. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, and always great here at Willaston that they have the Indigenous flag flying equally next to the Australian flag. Yep. I think it's just magnificent recognition. Yep. And Willaston Footy Club obviously mean a lot to you.
Yeah, they do. Look, we've been sponsors through ITR and Flexible Force because we really, really support local clubs like this.
Yes, and it's great to see you doing that, and hopefully you can do it for a long time to come. And good luck with the Indigenous training and recruitment.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you for your contribution to local footy and the Indigenous community.
Thank you very much, my friend. Cheers.
Thank you.
So we start the last quarter and Willaston have kicked a goal within about the first 10 seconds.
Yes, and a little controversial there. Barossa supporters not happy with some of the treatment being dished out.
No, I think there's a little bit of banter in the crowd. It goes back to that final where Barossa had their score wiped at three-quarter time. I think before the start of that quarter, Willaston might have had 19 players on the ground. So there's a little bit of friendly banter between the...
That would have been unreal.
Yeah, well, that actually brought a rule change in the league, which is a good thing, where now it'll go to the league and they'll review it. Instead of wiping the whole score, they might consider a different course of action.
Yes, as we see the game start again, another stoppage followed by a strong tackle and another stoppage. As umpire Prentice bowls it up, Sizer with a good tap.
So I reckon Coach Jarman really urged his players to really put the foot down. They've just come out almost a different side this quarter.
Very pedestrian in that third quarter, very disappointing.
Absolutely, and they've just dominated. I don't think Barossa have touched the footy this quarter. I know we've only played a couple of minutes, but they're going to have their second shot on goal within about the second minute of the quarter, Michael.
Yes, and Troy Benny really loving the coverage. He's watching the races as well. He's pretty pumped. He should be here at Troy Benny Field watching this display of the Donnybrooks. As Willaston, another shot at goal, kicks it high. Distance not a problem. Unfortunately, over the post. Went over the top of the post, so goal umpire correctly calling that a behind.
So that was Petroholis. So as an umpire, we're pretty keen to get Petroholis a vote somewhere along the lines, Michael, just so we have to hear Mick Bryan pronounce his name at the medal count this year.
I don't know if that would be a good thing.
I don't actually think it's possible.
He could start practicing now and still mess it up. As we see Barossa clearing to that outer side, which they've done all day. Not one kick out has come this side. And good strong mark there taken by Michael Clinch. Clinch has been really good sweeping for most of the day and intercepting. He drives the ball forward. And a good mark taken there.
Looks like Mackenzie
And
drives
he
it in
drives
quickly.
the ball right to the goal square. Good defensive effort there.
Looks like
Ollie Riggs. Thanks to the ladies in front of us for getting his name. They've been very well behaved, the crowd.
Yeah.
So far. That could go south very quickly. As the umpire throws the ball in. Another tap from Sizer. Falls to the front of the contest. And great collect and
great speed. Who was that? Looked like Brody Cormack.
Brody Cormack, and he's missed a goal that he probably should have gotten.
You think so?
I think so.
She's pretty tough.
He's a good player, and he had enough clearance there. He should have been able to get that. If he'd kicked it on his left, perhaps. You've coached before. Why are players loath to learn to kick on their opposite foot?
I think, well, they obviously their natural side is going to be stronger, and I think they feel more comfortable kicking a check side on their natural side. So we got an infringement. So the Willaston player Housen has been brought right back to centre half back. So Riswick will take the kick from there.
Chips it into the middle, and a good mark taken there. Julian Stowe with another great mark, and he's shown clean hands at times today.
Been very good. Just played on probably a little bit prematurely. Got caught.
Not a good idea to play on unfirm ground. Seen that come undone for a few players in recent weeks. Good handball back there. Chip around the corner.
Well, I reckon Mackenzie just bluffed him out of that.
Yes, and
he's going to get caught, and that's going to be holding the ball.
He
Great
gave
chase.
a big don't argue and ran straight into another Barossa player who looks like he's going down in pain.
It looks like he's got a bit of cramp, and how good's that? Izzy Mackenzie
helping the
training
guy out. That is really what we love to see in country footy. That is a brilliant sporting gesture. As we see Barossa moving the ball into the middle now. Clean bowled everyone. Ash Fry able to pick it up and get it forward.
There's Sutton again. That's about the third time he's tried to kick one of those running torpedoes, and this time it's actually been very successful. Petroholis just runs around onto his natural foot and slams through another goal for Willaston.
Probably not going to get a vote today, but hopefully at some point the umpires are smart enough to give him a vote. He had a couple big games in the first half of the year.
Tell you what, something we'll talk about at training. We'll have a chat to the umpires every week.
No match fixing in football.
Oh, well, it's not match fixing. It's just vote fixing.
I'm not sure you really want to be saying that, Rob.
No, all players get the votes they deserve.
Some players would argue that they don't.
Yeah, it's always a bit difficult when you come off the ground and you've got to concentrate on the game, and then you've got to work out who's best player, and you don't have those stats in front of you.
Yes, definitely, and you see it from a very different angle to those of
Absolutely.
us sitting on the sideline.
I still reckon Brad Mercer from Gawler Central's, he's been ripped off a couple of male medals. A couple of years he's kicked just
Perhaps
huge
some of
numbers
his-
of goals.
He tends to give plenty of advice to the men in white.
Look, he's always pretty good on the lip as Brad, but
Willaston going forward now. Sorry, Barossa.
yeah,
And another intercept mark taken. As Willaston looking to clear on the outer side now. And they're out here. Plenty of room. Kicking back inside. Clinch taking it on the run. Another nice drive forward. And Barossa are able to cut that one off. Coming back into the middle. And mark taken despite a very big fly from his opposition. And out to this near wing with another mark taken.
that's Lane.
Young man, son of Rick.
No, son of Danny.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I knew he was too good to be Rick's son. And Barossa will be having a shot on goal.
That's Riswick again. Oh. Shocking accountability there. Just allowed the Barossa player to take an uncontested mark. And he just strolls around on his left foot
Young Will O'Brien.
and kicks a goal.
For a very young player, that's a really good reward for a little bit of effort he's put in today. He's
And
been
actually,
knocked about a bit.
yeah, and really good play from Riswick too, just to kick it to him, regardless of his age.
It's showing great confidence in your teammates. and
Absolutely.
That'll get paid back one day. Once he develops a little more as a player and becomes a genuine A-grade footballer, which he's not far away from being, he will really be a great investment for the Barossa District Football Club.
Well, I think the reality is, Michael, I don't think they're going to see much of him. I think for him to be playing A-grade at such a young age, I think he should be go down to Central Districts and try his fair there. And yeah, I think I don't think they'll see much of him, to be honest with
on
you.
this ball now, and well cut off there by Willaston. Great desperation and a brilliant tackle applied. Drives his Willaston player into the ground. So we'll see umpire with another ball up. And Sizer with another tap. Gets the ball out. Polton going forwards. Cut off by Barossa. Going to the outer side. Mark taken.
Looks like Petroholis again. He's come a long way down from his half-forward line.
And another mark.
That might be him there, actually.
Chipping the ball inboards.
This is Moss.
Looking a little bit too easy for the Donnybrooks now. Very different to the last quarter. And Barossa able to intercept that. Chased down by Ash Fry. Ooh. Rizik trying to turn the Jets on. Gets tackled but able to get the handball away. Chip out to the pocket. And drives that very low but directly to the Willaston player who was in front of his opponent. Willaston now clearing on the outer side.
That's Elbrow. Just holds up for a few minutes or seconds. Looks for Earlham. He drops a mark.
Then drops to his knees. Gets the handball away to a running player.
That's Sutton.
And clears the top of the player he was looking for. Possible infringement there, but not paid by the umpire to Wildhooter.
Great handball there by McKenzie to his namesake, McKenzie, and he misses.
Willaston wasting opportunities here.
Absolutely.
It's not going to matter in the course of winning the game, but it's the icing that a good team would be putting on. And Willaston need to do things like that to prove that they are a contender.
Absolutely. That's what good sides do.
Barossa clearing out here, but a gaggle of Willaston players in the area.
A gaggle, Michael. What's that a collective noun for? A gaggle?
It's a collective noun for some Willaston players.
Oh, geese. That's tough. So Willaston here ringing the changes. They're going to make 4 changes here.
Jarman obviously getting a bit bored, deciding he needs to do something.
That's a brilliant pickup there by Gant. He comes inside. Bragley, thinks he's got all the time in the world. Gets that kick on to Dowsey.
Away.
And a very, very good mark there by Jamie Clark.
He's been solid today.
Look, he's really stepped up this year, Jamie Clark. He was a fringe A-grade reserves footballer the last few years, and he's been just a staple member of their team this year.
Beautiful pickup there by the Barossa player. The second bounce might not have been the best idea.
That was Casbolt.
The first bounce went beautifully, but the second one, and he looks like he might even be hurt. As Willaston take the ball back the length of the field, and now we'll be having another shot on goal. No, he's popped it up for a player. Michael Howson trying to repeat his heroics of a few weeks back. He's landed on a Barossa player, and player took a big hit, but he's walking it off. Barossa can't afford any more injuries. They've got a lot of players out already before the game, and they've lost a few during. Young boundary umpire comes in a long way. Didn't quite get the throw in the way he would have liked, so he's going to have another shot.
Not much different to the first one, so
No.
Prentice just acknowledging that. He'll have another crack at it.
Yep.
Young Alistair Polk, a bit of height. That's better.
That's much
Well
better
done,
from the young man. And the players do give encouragement to the young fellas out there, don't they?
Yeah, I think early in the season they get a little bit testy, but they actually realise that these kids are doing a really good job. And you made a comment earlier; they are actually the future of umpiring. So, and if anybody's thinking about it, it's actually pretty good money. That young lad will get $80 today for doing that job
And getting fit.
And all his mates that go and work at Drake's, they'll have to work 7 or 8 hours to get the same money.
Yes.
So Moss takes a good mark, feeds it out to Elliott on his unpreferred left.
Well,
Rigney comes inside, overcooks the kick.
and good tackle there. Barossa player unable to get the ball away. As Lachlan McCready re-enters the game.
Good tap out again by Sizer. Barossa mop up. Looks like Gant comes to this side. Rigney puts him in the front spot. Fry cleans up well. Handball over the top of his head.
Over the back.
Julian Stowe. Just a wild kick. This guy, Tyson Lane, just come off the interchange. Drops
Basically,
a chest mark.
Went through the gate and dropped the mark.
Yeah, I actually don't even know if he went through the gate. But no interchange stewards anymore, Michael.
No, it's an interesting move. I'm not sure how it'll work one day when there is a controversy. And Barossa, good mark there on the half-forward line. Looking to go short. Strong mark taken by Rizik. Probably not far from being in range. But he's decided to play on. Goes deep into the pocket with a sloppy kick, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, probably got away with that one. But still deep. Oh, well, in Barossa's forward line. So here's a chance from... Oh, no, it's going to be a throw-in. So the Willaston player, Elbrow, he's trying to con the umpire then.
That'd never happen, would it?
Everyone does it.
Who's the best at it?
At conning, the umpires?
Yes.
No, I don't know about conning. Scotty Bentley's pretty good. He's got plenty to say, Scott.
Oh, and kick out of the contest there.
I think... And an excellent mark there.
Well taken in defence.
By Jamie Clark again, very solid.
Yeah.
Comes out this side to Rigney.
I've seen some great efforts of players getting one over the umpire. Matt Dakey, when he used to captain Anguston, lost the toss but actually picked which way he was kicking.
Yeah.
Even before the coin hit the ground, he signalled and just started running.
Well, I saw one day a Tanunda player won the toss. He pointed to one end of the ground and he told his players they were going the other way. So all the backs lined up on the backs and the forwards on the forwards, and no one knew what the hell was going on.
Footballers aren't always the smartest.
Absolutely not. So Barossa going forward again.
Another mark taken there on the outer wing, on the outer forward flank.
Looks like Dyer.
He's going to pop this forward. Oh, big fly
Big
there.
fly by Rigney.
Gave himself a real chance at it, but it came down. Willaston clearing out to the boundary.
Here's Riswick again. He comes to the middle of the ground. He's probably had 20 possessions this half. He's just been dominant.
He's definitely stepped up. He needed to, and he's definitely showing the way.
And here's another guy that's been getting plenty of it. It's Gant. But poor entry inside 50.
As
cut off
Willaston able
by
to run
Childs.
out. And Rigney got a little twisted up there. So had to relieve the ball to Fry by hand.
Great bit of work there by Elliott. Runs the outer side, kicks forward, but Barossa there. Looks like
Also
Trainer.
starting to work a bit better behind the play. Another mark as he moves it forward. Who are your better players on the day?
For
Firstly, Willaston.
For Willaston, look, they've actually shared the load. Blokes have come in and out of the game. I think in that first half in particular, Mackenzie was very good. That's Isaiah. Erlin was good. Housen had the ball on a string in the second quarter, but he's gone really quiet, so they've really put the screws on. And for Barossa, well, this guy's
Rizik
he's
running
getting
through the middle
plenty
of the
of it.
ground. A sloppy kick around the corner. Found his teammate's feet. And Willaston able to clear as a result. Well, Fry in trouble now. Handball's backwards.
Walton kicks around the corner. Almost brings rain like he normally does. That's a good mark by Dyer. And that should be 25.
Yes, should be.
And it
And
is.
is paid. Well done by umpire Herman. Right on the spot. Isaac Polton's another player that I think you neglected to mention. He's been very impressive
Yeah,
today.
he's been excellent. Just his run and carry and his speed has really hurt Barossa today, and he's kicked 5 goals.
Well, impossible to miss him. Defensively, a lot of the defenders haven't had to do a lot today, so it's mainly a midfielders awards tonight at Willaston, I believe.
That said, particularly in the second half, Willaston have really held up. You know, Barossa have only kicked 3 goals. They've had a bit of. They've certainly gone inside 50 a lot more often than they did in the first half.
As
So
Willaston
Willaston-
able to clear, good spoil came directly down to the Willaston player who handballed it, and now clearing out on this open wing. Barossa player putting a lot of pressure on.
Really clever there by Izzy McKenzie. Just tapped it to Rigney. He was able to pick up and come inside and find
Rigney's been a
Clark.
great pickup for the Donnybrooks.
Another player with real genuine speed.
And another Indigenous player who's in a great environment here at Willaston. They've definitely nurtured their Indigenous players over the years and really give them a lot of support.
Yeah, and a great initiative. That's Moss taking a really good mark.
He's been good today when he's had the opportunity.
Kicks it to the space of Petroholis, and that's a really good mark, Michael.
He's done very well at putting the ball there for Petroholis to come at, which is his greatest strength.
Absolutely. Very good
the
above his head.
Willaston Indigenous Guernsey is magnificent, designed by Sean Childs.
Absolutely. And Willaston had their sponsors day today, and he actually spent a fair bit of time going through all the specific totems on the Guernsey.
Yes, we've been through that on the coverage in the opening
Fantastic.
start of the game. I've spent a fair bit of time talking to Sean about that. He's a great representative of the Indigenous people in this region.
Petroholis leans back, and he kicks his 4th goal for the game.
But also today, the major sponsor, ITR, Indigenous Training and Recruitment.
Yep.
It's one of their key driving factors is local footy. They believe it helps with their company for recruiting people. It builds better tools, better workers. So they're happy to support local footy.
Yeah, and I believe that they are the major sponsor of the Guernsey.
Yes, they are. We had an interview with the manager at 3/4 time, and he's very proud to be connected to this football club because of the way they look after their Indigenous players.
Yep, they've certainly done it really well, and I'd really love to see the whole league actually get involved in an Indigenous round of some sort. As we know, South Gawler did it a week ago or the last round. So just a brilliant initiative.
Yes, it's just magnificent, and I can't speak highly enough of the Willaston Football Club for the work they do. As Willaston cleaning up across half-back there.
Sutton to Mackenzie.
Tried to
Davis.
kick on the outside of his boot, but smothered well by his Barossa opponent. Craig Dowse, who's been working very hard today, should be in Barossa's best. Another boundary throw in, as we see Moss in the ruck now for Willaston, giving Sizer a break.
He gives away a few inches, Moss, but his physical presence is very good in the ruck contest. This is where he actually really thrives. He'll find the body here. There you go.
Oh, he's got a fair frame and he uses his size well. Another stoppage. We'll see umpire Prentice ball it up again here on the half-forward flank for Willaston.
It's a great tackle there.
That is a perfect
And it's going to be pinned holding the
executed
ball.
tackle. And
so
holding
he
the ball.
should.
Tried
Absolutely.
to take it on.
Well, the ball wasn't held to him. It was free and didn't dispose of it at all. So great tackle there by Tyson Lane.
As he drives the ball into Barossa's forward line. But a good intercept mark taken under pressure. It's been a key feature of Willaston's game today. It's their ability to stand strong under the contest, and Tyson Earlham, the captain, leading by example. Driving the ball into the middle of the ground now. Good strong mark taken.
Oh.
And probably a little bit Hollywood there trying to play on.
Well, I think he had the right idea, but I don't think he just didn't go back far enough, unfortunately, Brodie Cormack. And Barossa are going to take an easy mark. So
Good mark in the goal
he
square.
did everything right except dispose of it. So Barossa get their opportunity now. And that looks like Will O'Brien again.
Young man starting to get some reward for his efforts today. And kicks truly straight over the goal umpire's head. The 16-year-old with another goal.
So that's O'Brien's second goal. Not bad for a 16-year-old.
He's done a couple of good things today.
Very smart footballer.
And that takes Barossa to 5-5, trailing Willaston 18-16 on the Grant Bergewine scoreboard.
So as the ball comes back into the middle, we've got a couple of true, just Barossa, Light and Gawler athletes. Narelle Lane, she's the mother of Tyson. Julie Thompson, former absolute gun netballer. So there goes Mackenzie from the middle with another clearance out to Petroholis.
And that's more what Willaston were doing in the second quarter, straight out of the middle. And Petroholis will be lining up for another goal. The wind will help here. It'll bring it back.
What do you think, Michael? Should he kick it from there?
I think he should. He's a good enough player and he's a good goal kicker. But I have been wrong once before. Although the jury is still out on that one. Coming in now. He's creeping around a little bit. Gets up and under it. And
Looks like it was touched on the line there by Housen.
Yes, would have gone through for a goal, but Housen touched it and probably would have tried to con the goal umpire. Barossa with a risky kick straight up the middle. Just taking the game on before Willaston knew what was happening.
Watson kicks wide, not a great kick. Two players having a stoush. Barossa player picks it up and looks like he will roll over the boundary line and they'll throw it in right on the 50-metre line on the outer side. So another throw in. Looks like Moss and Hadju again.
Final
taps it
score
over
from
the back.
Tanunda. Tanunda 7-goal 12-54, defeating Angaston 6-goal 8-44.
Willaston go forward and Petroholis picks it up and kicks it from about 1 metre.
Well, that's a little closer than he was with the previous effort.
Yeah, they're a little bit easy to kick from there. So that's Petroholis' fifth.
So that's the second Willaston player to get a bag of 5 today.
So Polton's got 5, Petroholis has got 5, Housen's got 4.
Housen won't be happy about that. Although it is time for him to take a hanger.
Yeah, well, he did that a couple of weeks ago here against Kapundo.
You were umpiring that day. You probably had a very good view of
I
it.
certainly did. Probably one of the best marks I've seen for a very long time. Absolutely brought the house down.
Well, the Housen.
Very good. There goes Mackenzie again, another clearance from the middle.
Getting a ton of the football
Good
now.
work there by Dyer, just pushing back. Gutsy stuff. Trainer, just a sloppy kick out. Straight to... that's a bit of a trip. Straight there to
Harry
Elbrow. And well picked up there by Herman, umpire Herman.
Yes, showing the correct respect.
Mark Herman. So Elbrow will kick this back into Willaston's 50.
Hands it off.
Sells a bit of candy, but he wants his preferred left foot. Pumps it to the goal square. And he has kicked
offline.
Behind.
Another wasted opportunity for the Donnybrooks.
So
getting a bit too clever.
Kicks it behind and he comes straight to the bench. And Mackenzie comes off and Rigney comes on.
And Barossa now running down the outer side, really taking the game on. No other opportunity for them. And drop mark there, sees the ball spill over the line. But the ball's now down just outside the 50-metre arc for Barossa. Weather's held off quite nicely for the game.
Yeah,
no rain since the B grade.
So apart from a little bit of wind, Michael, it's been an excellent day for footy.
A little bit soft underfoot for the players at times. We've seen a couple of players slip, but not many. As the final siren goes to end the game, a comfortable win for the Willaston Football Club on their home Indigenous round. 1918, 132 to Barossa District's 5-goal 5-35. A 97-point win for the Donnybrooks on Sponsors Day. They'll be very happy. And that'll keep them well in the hunt for the 4. Thank you very much, Rob.
Oh, no worries, Michael. It's my pleasure to be here as Andrew Jarman just walks across to go and shake Simon Wills' hand wearing gumboots.
That's really classy.
Apparently
I haven't seen a coach do that for a long time.
Apparently he didn't want to get his $400 R.M. Williams dirty, so he refused to wear them, so he went and got some gumboots.
That's definitely
classy. But he's always done things just a bit differently, Andrew Jarman, hasn't he?
He's wearing sunglasses too on a day that's very cloudy. Different cat.
Would you expect anything less?
Well, thank you very much, Rob, and thanks to Asher Passon for doing the first half as well, and we'll be back next week.